Alright guys, and I am back. Sorry for that quick short break. I decided to use the bathroom. Okay. And yes, because exactly what you said, you should put in some other attack stuff. Um, just one little note. I think if we're trying to keep the insect theme and stuff like that, if you wanted to put in other buffs, I think the other Wave 5 card that we got that is an insect would be an amazing choice to add in here. The Hive Guard, as not only is it an insect, but it's one of those recurring buffs where, you know, if they draw a card, it stays out there. And it's like, well, okay, I need to draw to stay alive. I can be patient. It's another chip damage thing like the Insect Swarm. So if you wanted to add in Mantic's Hive Guards, that'd be awesome. It's another insect card that works along with the Tree Bark Hive. Works really well with all these other things that's trying to go in here. And just, it sits on the board. And your opponent has to find a way to do with it. And it could be good as another initial damage outside of Royal Bumbler. So let me just go ahead and do this. Now we will go in here. The Rocket Star vs. Fatal Zeph games. So we have Rocket Star. Now, which game did I load up? Shinto vs. Selene. I want this one. I want to make sure I get them lined up properly. Alright, I think I got it lined up pretty well. So let's go through this. Starting off with Rocket Star's Ashento versus Fatal Zeph's Selene. Fatal Zeph sticking with his Abyss Tentacle package plan, as we can see clearly well. We might see Fatal Zeph here use a Selene ability to pass draw, or to use her ability to draw two, or we could just see pass draw. We have a lot of cards that he wants to keep in hand, but it looks like we are just going to discard a Vortex Plains. Pick up that Tantosian Blacksmith, which will give us access to Shadow. Shade Ripper coming out. We also have the Moonlight Burrower on the pickup, which will be amazing to look at the next few cards and not lose an action. We are going to pick up a Blinding Beetle to remove all those attack cards that could be from Rocket Star's Ashento deck. We'll pass with the last action. Back to Rocket Star. Here we have a nice beast-heavy hand. We have the Hulking Charge Claws with the Delivery Crabs and the Draga Scorchers. No access to fire yet. Ashento, we might just see a pass draw here, or we could just see a Hulking Charge Claw pass. Nothing really speaks as a very impactful term right now. Going over to Fatal Zeph, putting out one Abyss Tentacle, using the Selene ability. We're going to be discarding a Pathfinder, drawing two cards, picking up a Battleborn Oppressor and another Pathfinder. That Battleborn Oppressor might not find home in this, as I think Rocket Star is using the Flame Claws. So there is no Supremacy item, but it is an elemental attack card, which will go very well with the Vortex Plains. We're going to see the Safety Crab come down with a Weaving Minstrel to rotate that one step forward. Fatal Zeph wondering if it's worthwhile to remove that buff. We're going to put down a second Abyss Tentacle, use Selene's ability without removing an action. I can imagine the Oppressor is going to be the one discarded. It is. Drawing two, picks up that Vortex Plains, but we still do not have access to air yet. So we're going to pass draw, really just build up our turn here. Picking up a Moonlight Burrower off of that as well. Rockets are going to heal for two and draw two as well. Has a lot of beast cards in his hand, but a lot of defensive cards as well. We're seeing that Hulking Charge Claw be moved into play. And a Delivery Crab. Going to spin the Charge Claw forward, one with Ashento's ability, draw a card, heal for three. Flame Burrower, once again, no access to fire yet. Back over to Fatal Zeph. Fatal Zeph might go full extent on all three Abyss Tentacles. He does have that Pathfinder to keep out the Thunder Slug. We're going to Selene ability, have 6 damage come through with all of those tentacles. Knowing that he has the Lunar Shrieker to bring them back, we're going to discard a... Oh. We are going to discard a Blinding Beetle. Blinding Beetle goes to the bottom. Pathfinder and Black Hole both get picked up there. We're going to pass draw on this as well. Safety Grab rotates out. We have the Hulking Charge Claw going in. Still, once again, Rocketsar's hand, not that impactful. Very defensive, very Bubblefish, healing. A lot of things that just keep him alive in the game, but nothing to push forward in the damage. That Bubblefish is going to be detrimental with all of those tentacles on. And we did draw the Flame Claws, so Fire will be active next turn if we equip that. Looks like Pathfinder is going to come out, removing both of those buffs. Hulking Charge Claw making us move a card back to the deck. Vortex Planes. Looks like the Necro Dreadling is the chosen one, as we're going to keep the Vortex Planes just in case we do pick up our air item. We're going to Selene ability, having 6 damage come through with the tentacles. No reason not to at this point. We do have the Lunar Shrieker in hand to bring one of those tentacles back. Looks like Moonlight Burrower is the card of choice. Picking up 2 Shades. Great turnout for Fatal Zephyr. He's going to get a lot of value out of those. Rockets are equipping the Flame Claws and immediately throwing down a Bubblefish. Or a Delivered Crab, sorry. Delivered Crab going in. Picking up the Impressed Crab. Abyss Shade comes in, draws a card, gets Reality Rift off with Fatal Zeph. Then Lunar Shrieker to bring that tentacle back into the hand. Gonna lay that tentacle for a free action. And then Selene again for 7 damage on board with those tentacles. Let the board do its work. Heal for 1. Draw 2 cards. Possibly even worth just tossing. Yeah, that Pathfinder doesn't seem to have a home right now. Picks up the Archaeologist, which is going to restart a tentacle. Amazing pickup by Fatal Zeph and another Blinding Beetle. I believe he now has access to even Reality Rift, all of his buffs that he wants back. We're going to see a Bubblefish come down from Rocketsar as he is sitting at 13. It's about all he can do. Picks up a secondary Bubblefish, still hoping to find any aggression that he can. But all of his cards right now seem to be very defensive. Back to Fatal Zeph. Fatal Zeph does have an Abyss Shade in hand to draw a card. Can do more Selene abilities. But that Bubblefish is being very detrimental. Nothing he really wants to do right now. All 3 Pathfinders are now in his discard pile. As he is seeing, he's just going to pass draw. Picks up that Skyrider, making that Vortex Planes extremely deadly. We're going to see a Draga Scorcher come along with the Flame Burrower synergistic combo. Rotate it forward for 6 damage. 2 more damage, returning the Draga Scorcher to his hand. Great cards to be using with a Shento with fire. Fatal Zeph is going to equip that Skyrider. And then he's going to Blinding Beetle. Heal for 3. No attack cards are moved back. Which means there is no... Well, I mean, Thunder Slug is not an attack. It's a buff. What am I saying? Draga Scorcher going to hit the board again. We're going to have Impressed Crab. Rotate that Draga Scorcher forward. Heal for 3. Unfortunately, that is all it's going to do. There's not a combo on top of the discard pile for Rocketsar. Fatal Zeph putting that Vortex Planes out. Hitting the ability. Now, Bubblefish is going to soak all of this damage up. But Fatal Zeph just needs to get some card draw. He knows that getting that on the second turn, next turn, is going to bake... actually, I think that'll be lethal for next turn. Because that'll be... 4, 8, plus 6. No, it'll be 14. It'll be 14 for next turn. On board. Bubblefish comes down again for Rocketsar, preventing all this damage that would have been coming through from Fatal Zeph. Fatal Zeph decides to Necro Dreadling, heal for 4, move a lot of cards from discard pile back. Gonna get a Pathfinder, and another Vortex Planes back. So he gets all the cards that he used to draw back into his deck. And then we are going to Selene again. Now, it will prevent a lot of damage here. Only the board state will go through, which is still 6 damage from Fatal Zeph as well. But getting those micro heals, allowing himself to draw 2 cards with this action, very impactful. The game is almost in a state where he can shut out Rocketsar with 3 cards in his hand. He really needs to just find extra damage to get past that Bubblefish. Rocketsar's hand not looking that strong. We may just see a pass draw here. Weaving Minstrel and Impressed Clav are not going to do a whole lot for him, unfortunately. There is 2 Thunder Slugs. Now, that is an amazing pickup for Rocketsar if he can get anything on board with those Thunder Slugs to remove a massive board state that Fatal Zeph has picked up. Fatal Zeph wondering what to do here. He can Black Hole. He can Reality Rift. There's a lot of options he has access to. Looks like Black Hole is going to be the choice. Removing that Bubblefish. He knows he has Vortex Planes in hand for next turn for increased damage off the board state after the first one goes away. Weaving Minstrel killing a lot of the buff damage on board with Thunder Slugs. So yes, I think you're absolutely right. If I did the math, I think that would have been lethal. Fatal Zeph is always, though, a cautious player. He is at 23. Not sure what Rocketsar had to do. I think guaranteeing the lethal 1 turn rather than sit there and try to defend. We're going to see a pass draw. Picks up a Pathfinder. But I think Rocketsar actually has a way to come back into this game now with that Thunderslug Impressed Crab. However, that'll be his entire turn. And that Vortex Planes is going to hit him extremely hard. Fatal Zeph could deal 3 and heal for 3 right here. He could just pass draw. A lot of options he has access to. Actually, if he Skyriders here, that's lethal. And it looks like he sees it as well. Skyrider does the 4 damage plus the 3 additional for 7. That'll be lethal. And game 1 goes to Fatal Zeph. Very good games by both people. Very close games. Those Vortex Planes with the Abyss package just gets overwhelming so fast. Very nicely done by both people. By both players. Now we're on to match 2. Let's see where we are. Let's get them both synced up here. I think I did pretty good on that. Rockets are playing with the new tech hero that increases all of your damage done by 2 for this turn after using his ability. Fatal Zeph looks like he's running a Empowered Implant OTK combo deck, which we've seen previously today by... Oh, who was it? Who played the Empowered Implant OTK deck? Does anyone remember? We have Time Shifter being used to lay Blast Field Battery, just drawing a lot of cards, tossing everything back that Fatal Zeph does not need. Actually, I am... Well, no, this is fine. No, let's switch these views. I'm not sure why, but it does seem that Rocketsar's quality is a little fuzzier compared. This will be a little cleaner to watch. OFC did. Okay. So Time Shifter is going to look for a Tantosian Blacksmith, which is going to put in that turret for Fatal Zeph, or for Rocketsar. Sorry, now I got to switch, so I'm sitting here. Fatal Zeph now has 2 Dripping Daggers in hand and 2 Ramparts. He's going to be sitting there pretty cushy for a while with an Abyss Tentacle in hand. He's actually going to Tempest back the Dripping Dagger, equip the one from his hand. No, from his deck. That would have been a smarter choice. From his deck. And just pass. Now over to Rocket Star here. We have an amazing Spike deck, but can he get it online? He has the Hammer Down 2 Blast Bots. Everything he really needs. But is it time to push for lethal? Is it time to go on the offense? Doesn't look like it as he pass draws. Picks up an Umbron Thief and a Time Shifter. Fatal Zeph immediately going to go ahead and use his Tempest ability, tossing back that Dripping Dagger, picking up 2 Tyrax Fixers. Over to Rocket Star. He has a lot of attack damage in hand, but if Rocket Star actually played against this deck last week, he should know what's coming. And with that in mind, he is probably waiting for a good Spike turn as he activates the ability to Blast Fist Kriebel to get 6 damage out of that 1 action card. Fatal Zeph is going to Tantosian, get the Dripping Dagger from the deck. We're going to lay Ramparts. We're going to toss back an Abyss Tentacle for it. Picks up a Gurgling Ooze and a Tyrax Fixer. I'm assuming the Gurgling Ooze is to prevent things like Thunder Slugs. Blastbot is going to destroy that Ramparts with ease as we pick up an Umbron Barkeep, which will help Rocket Star fuel his hand against Fatal Zeph's massive hand style. Another Ramparts comes down, but he is holding 3 Tyrax Fixers. Tosses back the Gurgling Ooze as he doesn't need it to draw 2 more cards. Gets a Giga Blender and a Hammer Down Enforcer. Rocket Star thinking, is it worth it to Blastbot that second Ramparts with the card in my hand? He's going to Umbron Barkeep, heal for 2. Draw 2 cards. Picks up a Blast Fuel Battery and a Quantum Loop. Rocket Star could just be past drawing here, let that Ramparts rotate out. Looks like he is going to Blast Field and draw a massive amount of cards to refill his hand in the hopes that he picks up what he's looking for. He's going to toss back 3 cards total. A lot of the more defensive cards he doesn't need right now. Picks up a lot of offensive power in his hand. Ramparts will rotate. We do have Fatal Zeph. Tossing back his Hammer Down Enforcer. Pick up a Giga Blender and a Necro Dreadling. Crushing Charger is going to knock Rocket Star's hand all the way back to his deck, making him start from scratch. Rocket Star, however, still picking up a wide variety of attack damage. We might just see a pass draw here, though. The Blastbot is going to remove the Ramparts. Maybe follow up with a Chrono Moth. No, we're just going to pass. Okay. Getting as much damage as we can down to Fatal Zeph as possible. Necro Dreadling going to come in. Pick up 2 Ramparts and that Crushing Charger back into his deck. Tosses a Giga Blender back. Picks up one of the 4 combo pieces he needs. Higgs Fusion. Now, Rocket Star's sitting there with a lot of damage potential in his hand. Chrono Moth, 3 damage. Let's draw a card. Picks up a Tyrax Fixer. Not anything he really wanted as he's looking for damage, not healing. Another Tyrax Fixer gets picked up. Those might just be dead cards as Fatal Zeph does not seem to be applying any pressure towards Rocket at this time. Tossing back a Giga Blender. Picked up a Tentacle and a Time Shifter. Now, Time Shifter's nice here, as it could play the bottom card, but it all depends on what he's looking for. Picks up the Empowered Implant. Rocket Star, is it time to start pushing for lethal? He doesn't know what's in Fatal Zeph's hands. It could be more healing. It could be damage prevention. If it's Ramparts, he has the Hammer Down Enforcer for it. However, if it's healing, there's nothing Rocket Star really has to combat it. It might be one of those turns where you just Hammer Down Enforcer. Dominator is going to increase all the attacks done by 2. So we're going to Tyrax Mercenary for 7. Now, Fatal Zeph is at 9, but he does have an immense amount of healing in hand. As we see that Tyrax Fixer get thrown right away. And we are going to toss some cards back. We're going to toss 1 Tentacle back. Draw 2 cards. Picks up 2 Ramparts. This could just be very difficult for Rocket Star to shut this game out. The way Fatal Zeph is defending himself. Getting both those items online. Not even needing to lay Abyss Tentacles to try and whittle Rocket Star down at this point. If he does, it'll activate the turret, so maybe he's just very patiently saying, I don't need him right now. I'm just waiting for the OTK. Just don't let him give above 33, and you're fine. Picks up another Hammer Down and a Tyrax Mercenary. We get a little bit more damage, but not enough to push past the 16. Time Shifter goes back to the deck. Picks up a Nitro Heal and Blast Field Battery. We see a Ramparts come down, just trying to prevent any damage we have. Nitro Heal is what's going to pay for Higgs Fusion, but we are waiting for, I'm assuming, a Turbo Sphere or a... what's the one that was used with OFC? Where it's makes all of them dormant. We see Hammer Down Enforcer hit the first Ramparts. Picks up another Mercenary. Now we have a lot, like I said, a lot of damage. But we need to find those spike turns against Fatal Zephs. Anti-Magic Pulse. Thank you, Cecilia. As we have Tempest tossing back a Blast Field Battery, as he does not need it right now. Assassin's Guild into the Hammer Down Enforcer. Now Ramparts comes down again. Fatal Zeph not wanting to take any damage or risk a blowout turn from Rocket Star at this point. Rocket could be thinking, is this worth Hammer Down Enforcering to push for damage? What should I do here? He's going to activate the ability, and he's going to Tyrax Mercenary. Drew 5 damage past the Ramparts. Put Fatal Zeph down to 11. Fatal Zeph going to Tyrax Fixer, heal back up to 18. Probably pass draw, or he could Tempest a Tentacle back. Maybe even a Hammer Down. Hammer Down is not really a card you'd want to keep, but he is going to Assassin's Guild for 2 additional actions. Putting the Hammer Down Enforcer back into his deck. There's the Anti-Magic Pulse that we've been waiting for. He now has the combo in hand. However, he has not baited out enough buff removal. We've seen 2 Hammer Down Enforcers from Rocket. The third one is still in the deck somewhere. In the deck. Looks like Rocket Star is going to just try and push more damage through. Get another 5 past that Ramparts with the Dominator's ability. Fatal Zeph still sticking to his plan. Toss back the Anti-Magic Pulse. He must be looking for something else. Tyrax Mercenary or Tyrax Fixer going to heal, and that's the third one being used up to 20. There's the obfuscation. So there is no way for it to be removed. Very cruel by Fatal Zeph. Having Higgs Fusion with Empowered Implant to put in... Obfuscation is a play that I would have never thought of. But Fatal Zeph on his next level plays brings out a combo buff that will not allow anything to happen to that Nitro, that empowered implant. Umbra and Barkeep will heal for 2, draw 2 cards. Rocketstar is still looking for something to get past that Ramparts. Unbeknownst to him, toss back an Assassin as we're already holding it. Gonna Crushing Charger him again, just really control Rocketstar's hand. Make sure he can't do anything at this point, as Fatal Zeph is about to go off next turn. Rocketstar just going to pass draw, can't do anything in that Ramparts. Picks up his own anti-magic pulse. Which, if he still had a Hammer Down Enforcer... Oh, but that Gurgling Ooze comes out to prevent anything from happening. Puts the Hammer Down Enforcer back. Time Shifter. Fatal Zeph has thought of every contingency plan possible. Rockets are still wondering what he's going to do to get past that. He can't buff, but the only thing that's preventing him from doing that is the anti-magic pulse. We have a Scrapworks Bruiser coming down. Just try and get 4 damage through that Ramparts. Just anything he can. And then a Chrono Moth. He's holding it back. Probably going to pass draw. Not a whole lot left he can do here. That'll be the case. Now Fatal Zeph is going to come in. Higgs Fusion, paid with Nitro Heal. Moving in Empowered Implant and Obfuscation. Rocketstar realizing there's not a whole lot he can do. He just went against this last week. There's going to be 33 damage coming in. He's going to Nitro Heal his way up. All the way to 35. Realizing the max output is 33, but with that Abyss Tentacle adding the extra 2, that's going to be game, though. That is 35 damage. Coming in. Unable to prevent it. Very good game. Very good game by both. So that'll be Fatal Zeph taking both games over Rocketstar. Very well done, guys. Very well done. Yes, there are a lot of ways to counter that deck. But luckily in this matchup, Fatal Zeph was able to ban the deck that probably would have been able to counter it like that. He knew which hero he was going to face ahead of time. That's the advantage of going into these league games, is you can know what your opponent is going to play, or assume based on the hero, the decks that are usually based around that hero, and you can kind of fortuitously see what your good and bad matchups are going to be. So great games by everyone. Awesome to see. All right. Oh. With that being said, we have about an hour left. An hour left of the show. I think as I don't have any more deck doctor suggestions from anyone, I want to see how like a full Umbron themed deck can work with Dread. Oh, did you, Terror Shock? Never mind. We will look at those. I thought the decks you sent me were your deck lists for tournaments. Oh, they were deck doctors. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you, Fatal Zeph. I'm glad you tuned in and enjoyed it. Okay. We actually have a Gem Forger Gron. That's why you had to stop? No worries, man. Both games played very thematically, which is pretty much your style. Turn Legacy off. Oh, it is off. I must have turned it off like unknowingly. So we're going to start off with Crushing Blow. Crystalline Reflection. Interesting. Okay. Recarving. Really nice one to have. Rupture. Stream of Tantos. So 3 of your combos all pay for one another. And then Crystalline Reflection and Rupture all pay for the others. Not bad. So then we're going to go into the actions here. We're going to run 2 Boulder Feasts. Three Leeches. I hate to say it, but we're actually running a Crystal Core in here. Nah, I'm just kidding. We have 3 Flame Fist Umbrons. 2 Mountain Breakers. 2 Power Hoarders. 3 Prism Cannons. And now we're actually adding in the items, so let's do this. 2 Tantosian Blacksmiths. I'm going to go add in 2 Viserious Crowns. 2 Shrine of Deaths. Two Salvagers. Then we're going to go over to Astral. I actually have to make another Moon Pearl Mace. Look at that. Oops. Nope. No, that's not what I wanted. Well, guys, I'm out. A few shards. Look at that. 2 Maces and 3 Shriekers. And I'm still missing a card. Oh, it should be 3 Shrine of Deaths. Okay. There we go. TSO, so basically the goal of the deck is to get your items equipped, then start setting up buffs. Can rotate them with a lunar item, including an infinite rotation interaction with Power Hoarder to bait removal. Then Shrine of Death for big heals, and Lunar Shriekers for retrieval. Alright. Come on, there we go. So Lunar Shriekers for retrieval, Moon Pearl Mace. When your action buffs 1 step forward. Shrine of Death for the nice heals off the Prism Cannons and the Flame Fist Umbrons. Okay. So the deck is built around very heavy hitting buffs, is essentially what I'm seeing. It's built around the Flame Fist Umbrons, the Prism Cannon, Mountain Breaker. It essentially looks like it's supposed to be more or less a Wrath Shard deck, but you're using Gemforger Gron. Are you simply using Gemforger Gron so that you can equip a Crystal Core to prevent a lot of the deaths that you might come? It's the deck you made from my deck? Lurker 300, hey man, how's it going? Great games last week, by the way. I did commentary over them. They were amazing to see. You mean Rashard could work? I'm just wondering if, because I know Gemforger Gron also is superior in Earth, if Earth matters. There does seem to be a lot of Crystal going on in this deck. So I was just wondering if you were running a third item to equip the Crystal Core to be able to do stuff like that. Or it doesn't matter too much. Obviously, the Salvager is going to hit for 8, since you'll have 3 items equipped as well. But it does just feel like a very heavy-hitting deck. Yeah, let's try it. Oh, is it Rocket Star? I would love to see that deck. I would love to see that deck to see what he was inspired by. But adjusted a bit with the Lunar Shenanigans. Howlock the Founder. If I have him start with a Colossi Skybeam, I'm going to give Mud Turtle a shout and be like, dude, you're giving away your secrets. Rockets uses Tome and Flynamo. Okay. So Tome for card draw, Flynamo instead of the Moon Pearl Mace to spin stuff forward with time. And Scimitar over Vez. Okay. Lunar's just better. Interesting. By not banning Mud Turtles Ferris? You're a brave soul, Lurker. You're a brave soul. That thing has been dominating. So who are you going up against in Mud Turtles deck list? I haven't gone in to see what it looks like out there. I might be making a mistake. Probably. I would not be surprised by making a mistake with that. So we have a Flame Fist Umbron, that's pretty cool. Shattered Volcano might be something I want to get rid of. Oh, you're talking to Lurker. Okay, I thought you were talking to me. I was like, what did I do? I didn't think I did anything wrong. Just rotate that one so that they'll stay on the same corner when they rotate through. Should be fun. Should be lots of fun. I don't think there's anything I need to do right now. I'll just pass. You want to crack at it? Well, Lurker, best of luck to you, man. Look at that Flame Hurler. Ooh. So much potential damage. Guys, you know I can't use Shrine of Death right now? You know I just can't do it? Oh, actually, I could have with Tantosian. Oh! Guys, I'm the worst player at this at all times. All times. I'm not used to a deck that has so much variety and diversity. So we get the Viserys Crown in there. Heal for 1. I could have Shrine of Death. I could have done it. Did I feel the need to? Yeah. I mean, it seems pretty good. Salvager. It's only 6 right now. Could be 8. Lurker, you're a true Lightseeker's inspiration. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think I'll just pass. There's no reason for me to do anything. Lunar Shrieker could give me back that Salvager. But he's just gonna die. So yeah, this deck it's very efficient on its heavy hitting things on its corners. It seems to work just fine. I do want to see, however, if the hero matters. I'm gonna put in Wrathshard, just because Wrathshard actually has something to do with 4 corner buffs, and a lot of your buffs are 4 corners, and he is Crystal Supremacy. I just want to see if it matters. We could take the Crystal Core out, and we can probably add in... yeah, just a 3rd Mountain Breaker or something. Rocketar, I have your version. Let me take a look at this. Okay. So you use the Tome for card draw in this, along with using the Umbron Barkeeps. So yours looks a lot more, I guess, attempted to be faster paced with your card draw. Using Scimitar with fiery weapons, that's dirty. That's dirty. But essentially, it does look fairly similar. You are running Mountain Forts, so you are actually running some more defense than this current deck. And you're running Rock Melter over Crystalline Reflection and Rupture. Okay. Running Fiery Weapon with Port Turret? That just sounds dirty. That sounds incredibly dirty. Yeah, I'll do that. Why not? 7 damage. Yeah, I'll do that all day. Yeah, so I guess Rocket Star, you're not actually running Salvagers. So I guess, is there a reason that you're using Gemforger Garan, or is it just so you can also include the Tome for card draw beyond the Scimitar and the Moonpearl Mace? So I'm trying to think, actually, now to think about it, Wrath Shard won't make that much of a difference. It'll just increase some damages by 1. But if you're hitting for like 10 and 8, those extra 2 damages aren't going to matter that much. Especially with the Moon Pearl Mace doing all the damage, and having the Crystal Core equipped is going to be better overall. So I will go ahead and switch this back to the Hero of Gemforger Gron. But yeah, I do see that Rocket Star's deck does have a lot more card draw in access to it. You have a lot more recursion. Let's just see here. Yeah, I mean, the deck itself looks really solid. Crystalline Reflection, I know why you put it in here to pay for Rupture and all that stuff. But you have so much graveyard recursion. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because I'm sitting here like, is Flaming Zombie, like, that card came out, and everyone was just like, oh, what? I don't understand. Is it ever good? Is Flaming Zombie ever good? Like, when your target heals, you get to draw a card. I feel like for it to be a rare buff, it should be X open 6. So there's another corner where you can get it off. Because first of all, they have to heal, right? And Soul of War is always better because your opponent has way more sources of damaging you than healing them. So I feel like Flaming Zombie is just a really bad Soul of War. I really don't know what I would change to this deck. In all honesty, I don't know what I would change. It seems to work really well. Like I said, Rastard was my initial thought, just because you're running a lot of 4-corner buffs. But then coming to hindsight, the 1 damage wouldn't make a difference, and Crystal Core being that impactful to keep you alive, I think is way better. Shrine of Death. It's good for big spike heals. Like, I'll give you that. It heals for, 10, 6, heals for 8. Um, you probably don't need 3 of them unless you really do. Also, have you thought about adding in, like, Sulfuric Demise instead of, like, Crystalline Reflection? As you're probably going to pay for it a lot easier than a lot of the other stuff. You have extra items to equip too. So the combos is probably what I would look at to really amp this deck up in the right direction. Because, yeah, for this, you have Crystalline Reflection. Ancestral Communion is not that... It looks cool. It looks cool. But it's just like... Okay. I don't really need him. Sulfuric Demise is, however, a really good one that I would consider tossing in. Unfortunately, the Dread Astral combo only really works if you use abilities. And yes, you're using the Moon Pearl Mace, but it requires it to either be Shrine of Death or Lunar Shrieker on top for it to do anything, so it's probably not that good. Oh, okay, you wanted everything to synchronize with each other? I mean, that makes sense. That makes A-okay sense. It's just if you're running a second crown, 3 Shrine of Deaths, I think Sulfuric Demise works really well because also, again, this one pays for any other thing you need. So if you're looking for a Rupture, this can be your Earth. Then again, 3 for 5 combos all pay for one another. It's just something, like I said, the combos are really the only thing I'd look at. The deck itself works really nice to what it's supposed to do. You got Lunar Shriekers with the Moon Pearl Mace to rotate things forward and faster like Flynamo would do, while dealing the 1 ship damage to get through a lot of the defenses that you probably want to get rid of. Power Hoarder for consistent damage. A lot of buffs that just hit for 6 or more. Mountain Breaker can't be removed. Flame Fist, Umbron, and Prism Cannon, rotating those faster so your opponent has less time to remove them. Shrine of Death, big spike heals. Umbron Salvager, big spike damage. You might even want a 3rd Salvager in this deck. That's probably what I do, is I take out a Shrine of Death and put in a 3rd Salvager. If you're running 3 items. But yeah, just having explosive turns almost guaranteed with the Salvager. Shrine of Death will keep you alive, but when you can kill somebody, why not just kill somebody? So if I had to change, like, I would probably just change those 2 cards. The deck, it's perfect the way it is. It runs really smoothly. It has a lot of nice defenses and healings and whatnot. And like I said, if you really need it, the Shrine of Death, I like, but it's very conditional on how it heals because you need a buff on board. And I think until we get to the point where those restricted actions start coming in for buff removal, then Shrine of Death will actually see a very big uprise in it because there'll be a lot more buffs to play around with it. But if you don't have a buff, Shrine of Death's just a dead card, is how I see it. What was the patch with Gravity Bubble and Multiration? Oh, that's true. 3 Tantosians, yeah. I mean, yeah, we can throw in 3 Tantosians. That's fine. If you're running 3 items, it's probably better this way. Oh, yeah. I remember that. Yeah, if they had a Power Hoarder and you Gravity Bubbled it, it would restart, go to the beginning, and then Gravity Bubble will keep triggering to have it just restart, and it'll do infinite damage. So yeah, it's a great way to block Gravity Bubble, that's for sure. But yeah, I mean that's probably what I would do. I mean, this deck, it works really well. It didn't need a whole lot of look-see on it. Very interesting build. Really? Okay. That's interesting. Because, yeah, what does Multiration do again? I gotta relook at that combo. Oh. Yeah, okay, so yeah, they'll play a combo. You get to rotate Power Horde to its final corner and it just happens again. That's dirty. That's some dirty stuff. But yeah, I want to see. Now, obviously, I love the list you guys are sending me. It's awesome to see your renditions of this Umbron stuff. I want to see if I can just build one by myself real quick. I just want to get the dirt. No legacy, of course. Nope, don't need that. These cards, I'm hoping are going to be amazing. What are the Umbron supporting cards, though? The Watchress Trader is just really good. Eternal Hunter. I might just put 2 in there for right now. But I mean, Umbron works really well with Undead, as we found in the past. Thief is really good. An Umbron Salvager. If we're going to go ahead and... Sick, because I know there's a Power Hoarder. That's an Umbron card. Yeah, Fatal Zeph, go ahead, man. If you want to send me a list, feel free to. I do like the Power Hoarders. I honestly don't think... Yeah, I think it's just in these 2 orders. I like Barkeeps. Barkeeps are good. Now we gotta look for crystal items. I feel like with Umbron Terror Guard and the Encrusted Shield, we're gonna be good at 10. We'll be fine on that. Should look into Tantosian Blacksmiths to get our crystal items out. Now I'll just go back into Dread and look and see what we get. I have no buff removal in here yet. Probably good to do that. Yeah, I mean, it's just... Oh. So, Power Horde is essentially the way we win this. Umbron Salvager's good. There is no Dread hero that allows us to have 3 items, right? There is no Dread hero. We actually don't have a lot of poison. I thought we did. Never mind. Shadow, poison, death. Because the thing is, like, with Umbron Sergeant, Umbron Barkeep feels overkill to me. Because we have card draw here. Watchers Traders also card draw. Eternal Hunter is card draw. I feel like Umbron Barkeep is just overkill. We can do something else. Do we ever just run Lurking Horror to increase damage? Just because. There's like minimal to no healing in this deck. No defense. Man, is Wall of Bones better? Venom Feeder. What poison stuff can we get back with Venom Feeder? The Recruit Exterminator and these Watchers Traders. Baronwood is always nice for healing. That's true. Baronwood Butcher is a nice card for healing. Like, I feel there's a lot of really good synergies with Umbron and Undead. There always has been. I feel like with Venom Master, there should also be a fun Venom Master with Poison Mercenary deck somewhere out there. Fortune Master. Ooh, actually, that could be fun. Prevent them from playing certain family cards. That could be interesting. Yeah, I feel like making a poison deck. We could try that either after this or next week. So I still got to put the combos in here. That should be fine. And then I put Haikyuu and Arwen in here just for card draw, but with how much card draw, I don't think I need it. Like, at all. I like Varilla, which was used by TS to spin my things forward. I'm going to try Serena. We have how many buffs in this deck? 13? Maybe it's not that good, actually. I mean, Power Hoarder stays in play. Yeah, actually, maybe Varilla's just the best one to rotate my things forward. I just want to see how this does. Fatal Stuff, I actually have it open. It looks disgusting, dude. It looks so gross. First of all, I gotta say I'm already in love with it just because of your farmer inclusion. I love that card to death so much. So I wanna try out this deck just for shoots and ladders. And then, with Fatal Zeph's permission, of course, I'll more than happy show his deck that he just shared, the Bloom and Scorch. Because that deck looks dirty. Oh, it looks like it's going to do you dirty. Alright, Death Shifter Valina. Yet. How many Tantosans did I put in this deck? There we go. So if I attack, I'll take damage. I don't need extra damage on me. my. No need to do that yet. That Venom Veins hurts. That Venom Veins hurt. Still need cards to make True Stone good? Yeah. Only one. Are you for real? Well, that is upsetting. So it's now hit for 6. Then I'll take 3. I think I'm fine. Another Watch Rose Trader. Should be good. Oh, look who laid a beast. This is... I'm in a lot of pain. I'm in a lot of pain. However... I'm immune to damage, so... Rocking it pretty strong. Look who's immune to damage. Oh, thank you, Rangathor. I will have to get around to that. Just gonna go ahead and prevent all damage again. Because I can. Put that up. Actually, Sylvaneric Demise might not be good in this, because I want to equip both my items, and that means that my informants are the ones that are going. Or my, the crystal buff or whatever it is. Not a single one, are you for real? Alright, well that's a bummer. Don't even get the healing off of it. I missed lethal, I could have salvaged her too. I missed lethal, yeah. But you know what? Doesn't matter. Still rocked it. Got down to 10 and was like, nah. You're not touching me for 4 turns. Alright. The Umbron family has a long way to go. It's still a support family. Like, it supports undead family and a lot of other things. It's not a family all on its own, like beasts or elementals or anything like that. It's a support family until it gets cards of its own to make it good. I am all about showing this Bloom and Scorch deck. This thing looks atrocious and I love it. Like, just you look at it and go, wow, this thing is gonna blow someone up. And I hope I'm playing it right. Oh, turn off Legacy. I cannot stand that that's an auto on. It's like one of the first things I'll talk to Benny about. That's not the right... I don't need that. First thing I'm talking to Benny, like, Benny, when are we getting auto legacy off? Actually, I do need Spirits Return early here. I'll do that. And Invigorate. Alright. On to the action. Three Spectral Mantics. 3 Reckless Spirits. 3 Stumpdrift Shamans. 2 Fungal Leechers. Mosswitch Defender. I am a fan of the inclusion of lumbering behemoths. Two resourceful Sipids. Fungal Farmer is gotta be my favorite card in nature. By far my favorite card in nature. Three Scorchers. Two Everock Saboteurs. And three Swift Pyres. Oh. So this deck looks like it's just, like you said, very explosive. All the fire buffs expire extremely quickly. Keep your forest buffs out on the board. No reason to do anything yet. What is this? What is this? Wild growth in the... Yeah. Well, I mean, I made a full nature deck that I am absolutely in love with. Or a full forest theme deck with green foam. I love that deck to death. That's dirty. Another Cage of Oppression, really. An Oracle. Come on, man. You don't have to be that way. A Sunhugger. Now I draw my Fungal Farmer, of course. Not yet. Not yet. Are you just talking about my misplays? It's gonna happen. I'm not the best. Yeah. Just different ways of thinking. I mean, yeah. Check out those cages. So I have 1, 2 forest buffs in play. This will be 3. Oh. Yeah, I play a little greedy. It's against the computer, so I'm just... Wait. Wait, what? Hold on. Did something prevent me from drawing? What did I miss? What did I miss? What did I miss? I had 1, 2, 3. Did I not draw 3 cards? Is there something that's preventing me from drawing? What? Like, come on, man. They all different, yeah. Sipid, or Resourceful Sipid, Moss Ridge, and this one. They're all different forest buffs. Oh, yep, yeah, it says it right here. Can't draw on your turn. Whew. Man, I don't know why more people aren't playing Orion. Seems pretty good. Seems pretty good. Goodbye, Cage. That son of a punk. Alright, well, I'm going to heal. Restart those 2. Oh, if I could have laid another Lumbering Behemoth this next turn, it would have been great. Hold on, I gotta know. Does that actually work? The Behemoth expired... Oh, okay. Never mind. I was like, it expired before the Stump Trip. I was like, did I actually get the damage? Okay. Let's try this again. Okay, I could have had lethal, but this is for experimenting now. I should draw 2. My favorite card of all time is broken. You know what? No. No, you don't get to have that mage ship hit me. What is that? Fungal Farmer. Possibly my favorite card because I love nature and I love forest. Just doesn't draw you anything. Nope. That's a bummer and a half. Someone can clip that of me just being extremely disappointed. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Fungal Farmer is stupid when I saw it. Yeah. I built a deck. Essentially, I built a nature deck and took it to one of Delivery Crab's last silver tournaments in Madison. And with the Fungal Farmer, I drew 11 cards. And Matt, the owner of Delivery Crab, was even like, what just happened? And I just kind of, I love forest buffs so much. Yeah. It's a conditional increase, and I love conditional increases over avoiding drawbacks. I love conditional increases to death in this game. They're so good. But, yeah, Fungal Farm is broken. Not in the sense where it's, you know, a ridiculously powerful card. It's broken in the fact that there's a coding error. So if someone wants to let Play Fusion know about that, that'd be pretty swell. Yeah, Fatal Zeph, awesome deck. That was very cool. Very cool. All right, guys, we only have about 10 minutes, so I'm gonna cut it short. We did a lot of talking today. My mouth is getting really dry and scraggly. Great games by everyone in the OLL right now. I cannot wait to see what happens next week if the video is being uploaded. If you really want me to check out your deck list, please send it to me. I'm more than happy to do this, to showcase a deck list by someone. As I said, if you really are proud of a deck that you made and you want to try and get your name behind it, and you want me to showcase it for you, just send it to me and I'll be like, hey, look what Fatal Zeph just made, or hey, look what TS just made. It's an awesome deck. I'd love to showcase it, get their name behind it, so people, like, when they see that deck online and they saw the video, like, oh, that's TS's deck. That's awesome. More than happy to do that for you guys. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Anyway, guys, with that being said, next week Saturday, please tune in next week Saturday, as I will have Benny live on the show. We will have a Q&A for as long as he wants. And as long as I have questions to ask him. So please send me or Lightseeker Casilia questions to Ask Benny next week. Tune in at 8 o'clock. We'll probably do a little bit of a discussion and then have Benny on almost right away, as it will be 2 in the afternoon for him. So, yeah. Please feel free to send us questions. We will be sure to ask Benny about it as well, as much as we can. As I said, please keep in mind, there is red tape, so a lot of the questions we'll try and get him to answer, but don't be disappointed or upset if he can't answer all of them, because, you know, legal guidelines pretty much tell him he can't. So if you guys have questions, please send them to me in a private Discord to get them down, or send them to Casilia, and she will have a document going on right now. Why is Leo broken? You know, it's just because it does. It does. Leo's busted, doesn't allow anyone to draw cards, heals for 2 every time a buff expires. It's just, why isn't everyone using Leo? It's one of those things where they said they're going to revamp some heroes to make it more variety, and apparently Leo's the one they're just going to be like, yeah, everyone should play Leo. Leo's better than Selene. 10 out of 10. Would recommend. But, yes, guys, anyway, thank you very much. I'll see you guys next week in the talks with Benny. And until then, guys, have a good one.